So I've got good news and I have great news. The good news is that I'm still in the Lost Cities looking for the parts for this scythe. And the great news is I have just stumbled across this chest here, which has a ring of dragons inside of it. And I believe that this is a pretty rare ring to come across. It is going to increase our size by a bit, it is going to allow us to breathe fire, and it is going to grant us fire resistance as well as night vision. There are also a few different modifiers that are going to help out with our combat, but really the most beneficial part of this ring is that I think it could replace our Dragon's Eye, seeing as this Dragon's Eye bauble grants us fire resistance as well as night vision, which of course this ring does here as well, but with the added bonus of we now get wings. The only slight downside to it is the fact that it has increased our overall height here, but not by too much. Because it now comes with wings, we can now pretty much fly anywhere that we want. Kind of similar to creative mode flying. So this is going to be an absolute game changer. The wings do have some durability on them, as I have just unfortunately learned the hard way, but it still will allow us to fly around here and get out of danger a bit quicker, which will be incredibly handy. Especially whenever we are still fighting these parasites, still looking for these bloody parts for this scythe. And the ring also comes with a new attack that allows us to breathe fire if I press X. Okay then. That also seems to use our magic meter, but I wonder if this could be another viable option to attack mobs with. Especially seeing as these mobs are quite weak to fire attacks. Yup, this is definitely going to come in handy. I'm certainly getting a nice collection now of all of these mob parts. I'm just not entirely sure what we require in order to make the Living Scythe. I know it's mainly these long arm armor fragments that we need, maybe a summoner core or two if we don't already have them, which we do. But yes, I still think it's just the long arm armor fragments that we really need here. Well, I'm pretty much full on loot again, so I'm just going to quickly head back to the Hobbit house, and then we can see exactly what we have collected and how close we are to actually making the scythe. Oh yes, our increased height now isn't going to allow me to go through doors without ducking. Right, that's something else that we will need to keep in mind. I've just seen that the Ring of Dragons has an upgrade to it to a Dragon Gem, I believe. We will need some mana crystals, Dragon's Breath, a sapphire and some Scarlight in order to make it. But I'm wondering if this will then turn the Dragon's Ring into some form of bauble so that it will fit into our bauble slots a bit better. We do have some of those items here, so we could maybe go ahead and make it. All we need to do is get ourselves some Dragon's Breath, which I get the feeling that's an Ender Dragon thing. Okay, well we can definitely look into that then, because I would much rather it replace the Dragon's Eye bauble than a ring slot here. But anyway, let's look into these parts then and see exactly what we are still missing. We need 2 Living Scythe handles, which that's really not too difficult to make. We need the Living Scythe core, which takes infected flesh, a summoner's core, and these long arm armor fragments, which we can also make. The Living Scythe blade is made using Reeker fangs and the long arm fragments, which again we do have the parts for. And the Living Scythe head, again we seem to have the parts for it. So finally the Living Scythe back is 3 more long arm fragments, infected flesh, and we've got enough for it as well. Okay, so we did a lot better there than I thought, so there is our Living Scythe, which I believe we can upgrade this to a Sentient Scythe if we use some yellow eye bones alongside 4 undead soul stones. I'm pretty sure we have the yellow eye bones. We have 4 exactly, which is nice. I'm not sure if we can make undead soul stones though. I think that may be a drop only item. Which I think I remember a dungeon that might have some bosses in it that can drop as those. So we will head there very shortly, just after I see if it's possible to change the quality here of our new scythe, which we can't do with just normal infected flesh. Let me guess, long arm fragments? No. Oh well, expensive, but at least nether stars will allow us to change the quality. That's really not that much better. Anyway, let's take our new scythe and go find ourselves this dungeon then. And here we are at our shadow dungeon. Right, hopefully I have left some bosses down here to kill. And also we stop getting stuck on absolutely everything. Yes, hello chaps, how do you like the new weapon then? Once we have this weapon upgraded, I can then start putting enchants onto it to make it even more overpowered. But for the moment, the damage output is just rather nice from it. And it also sounds as if we have a dragon fairly close by as well. Very, very close by. Where is it hiding? Well, I couldn't find it, so let's just go see if we have any bosses in here to take on instead then. We have a room full of trolls in here. Let's see how quick we can take these guys out. Not too bad actually. Could definitely be a lot better though. We are definitely missing the DPS of our enchanted nunchucks certainly. But we will get there with this. I'm really starting to get the feeling that I've already killed all of the bosses in here, which might be problematic. And I think I have found the dragon's nest over there, so that's good, I have finally found it. Right, let's still check for bosses, but if we can't find any, at least there is something worth killing here. Ah, screw it. Let's burrito up and go take on a dragon. I am not expecting this to go any differently to any other fight, and I will already apologise if there is blur on the screen. Oh, okay then. Well, if that doesn't show you just how OP I have become, I'm not really sure what will. Also, it does sound as if there is another dragon fairly close to us as well, which we will go get after we loot this one. It was only a stage 4 one again, which is okay. Did we get any eggs, which would be nice? Not by the looks of it, sadly. Okay, I do hear another dragon though, so hopefully it is close. Well, I couldn't find it unfortunately, unless it is a dragon out on the overworld here, which it very much could be, seeing as there is a lot of fire and chaos around here. In fact, yep, there he is, right there. So, it was just a red herring from you, and he's now also dead. Well, we didn't really get too lucky there with an undead soulstone, so back to the hobbit house, because I have another thing that I can try. So for this method, I am going to require some soul keys, which I can easily make a few of them here. And we also require some obsidian and some blocks of diamonds for it. But I'm hoping that if I make a shape very similar to that, I think is correct, and then we use the soul key on that diamond, we get a lunar grue spawning, and I think this has a possibility of dropping us this undead soulstone, which he's dead, and indeed it does. So basically I need to do that another 3 times, and also, just because I've not really used it too much, Velociraptor, how do you like fire breath? Loves it. I will also require a few more nether stars, so wither, hopefully you can help me out with that. Again, apologies in advance for the blur that's about to ensue, but we will get this down very, very quickly. Although I would much prefer you not dropping my nether stairs over lava. I think they've fallen all the way to the bottom. Easy peasy now, you nether nasties. Definitely no match to those parasite buggers. Great, so that's another key, and this is another lunar grue for another undead soulstone. That one was level 3. I'm not sure if that makes a difference or not, but we got our goodies anyway. And that's number 3. And that's number 4. That's everything that we need. The only issue now is the fact that I've used the scythe, so we can't actually make the upgraded version of it without repairing it first, which I think I can only do by adding mending to it and then heading out and killing something. And hopefully that has now done the trick, which it has. So here is our upgraded sentient scythe, which is giving us an additional 5 attack damage to the original one, so we can head out and try it immediately. And I see we have a volunteer, likes it, and you, loves it. And before I get too carried away here and ruin the durability of this, let's maybe go take off some enchants from our nunchuck and see if we can upgrade this. A lunar grue. Ooh. Where? I will deal with him in time. Let's do some upgrades. This is always the painful part here, but for the greater good. Well, that's the scythe, now enchanted and pretty OP, so I need a few more nether stars. Let's go test it out. Hello Mr. Wither, it is me again. Let's do this dance, shall we? So the new scythe is outrageous. So outrageous in fact that I need to see it in action once again. The only thing I miss about my nunchucks is the fact that I don't really need to click too much with them. But yes, I think I am really going to enjoy the new scythe. Well, let's do one final test then with it and make some of these end crystals. Although I have noticed that we are going to require 32 magic in order to place them. So hopefully I do have a bit of experience left to get those levels. And from 75 points of experience, we can go from 24 magic up to 32. Perfect. Which is the maximum level actually. I can't go any further. And I don't need any of those yet. Anyway, let's get ourselves to the end. Although, just before we do, I did think I heard a dragon. It's probably just another tier 4 one, but regardless, let's go in and kick its ass. We have a big green one this time, so maybe this will be higher than a tier 4. Well, whatever it is now dead. So what type of dragon were you then, Mr. or Mrs. Fire Dragon? I appreciate that, creeper, but I have some bones to collect here. We had a tier 5, a stage 5 dragon. No egg drop though? That's disappointing. Well, anyway, let's get on with the main event and get ourselves into the end. And I don't even need a flying mount for this one. I can do it all by myself. Chaps, please do not blow those up until we are ready. And hopefully that is the last one. So we will summon her back. And then we will get some dragonfire breath from her. Yes, come on down already. I reckon this won't take too long once you are actually here. I really just want your breath. In fact, look, I'll make it nice and simple for you, and I'll just stay here right on the ground. Well, I lied about being on the ground, but I will pick up your breath there. Thank you very much. I maybe wouldn't touch me. Right, come on then, let's take away your health without me having to take out these crystals. No, come back. That's a good girl. You come in here to land. That's it. No. We are so close. Let's not be flying away anymore. Let's just instead do that. Easy peasy then, chaps. Absolutely easy peasy. And at least I can replenish some of the experience that we just had to use. Nice one. I got myself some Dragonfire Breath, so let's head back to the Hobbit house. And let's upgrade our Ring of Dragons to this Dragon Gem Bauble then. Which I'm hoping this is going to work the way I think it is, but I can now replace that. Or maybe not. Well, it turns out it was even simpler than that. I did not need to put it on as a bauble. All I had to do was simply consume it. So I am now permanently part dragon. I have all of the buffs of that ring as well as the Dragon's Eye bauble without having to wear it. So I now do have up a free space here for another bauble. Or in other words, I get to be part dragon forever. And that is something that I can definitely get behind. Well, let's take our new upgraded gear straight back to the Lost Cities and give it a test run. It's not the most fearsome opponent, but we do have a primitive long arms here, who still does prove a bit of a challenge, but not too much. I still fully expect to get my ass kicked here because it's just the nature of this place. But maybe with our newly upgraded stuff here, things might be a bit easier. Who knows?